The final of the Grand Prix series in figure skating starts in Turin. This is the first final in 3 years, the previous 2 were cancelled due to the pandemic. There will be no Russians at this start. Nevertheless, in the case of Ilia Malinin, the son of Russian immigrants from the United States, is being formalized in the status of the main star of world figure skating, orphaned after the departure of Nathan Chen and Yuzuru Hanyu. The gold of the Grand Prix finals may be his first important title in a great career. There is, perhaps, something symbolic in the fact that the Grand Prix final of this season will be held in Turin, 3 years after the last stage of the Grand Prix at the same place. Now it seems that it was like in another life. Before COVID, before sanctions, before all this new normality of ours. When Alina Zagitova was still performing, and Elena Kostornaya was the favorite of the season. When Yuzuru Hanyu and Nathan Chen were quad duels among themselves, and Kamila Valieva was still very young and spent her first junior season, few of the main characters of that final will come back to Italy. Nevertheless, a holy place is never empty, and the start will not remain without stars. The main one, perhaps, should now be called Ilia Malinin. The guy loudly declared himself last winter, and since the beginning of this season he has turned the quadruple axel from a phenomenon into a routine. Nevertheless, the judges have not yet fully recognized him as a true master, and Malinin's ratings are sometimes underestimated. It suffers from under-rotation and low component scores. Perhaps this will change an important victory, which may well be the Grand Prix final. True, Ilia's rivals are worthy. Among them are 4 Japanese at once, led by the experienced Shoma Uno. Uno, like Malinin, jumps 5 quadruples, but is ahead of the prodigy from the USA in the second assessment. Kao Miura, Sun Sato and Sota Yamamoto are guys of about the same level with their pluses and minuses, and yet they are probably inferior to Uno and Malinin. As did Daniel Grassel. With all due respect to the progress of the Italian, it is difficult to imagine how he will fight the American's quadruple axel and the judges' boundless love for the Japanese. Gold in Turin in the women's singles will go to one of the Japanese, Korean, American or Belgian. The quantitative advantage is on the side of Japan, 3 finalists, one of which owns Ultra C. At the same time, the current world champion Kaori Sakamoto is in a rather precarious position. At both stages, she was not perfect. It is clear that the consequences of the Olympic race make themselves felt. Mai Mihara more convincingly aims for the role of the favorite. She is the only one of the girls to win both of her stages and take first place in the overall ranking of the series. True, there is nothing to count on Mai, except for the purity of skating. She does not own Ultra C elements, so if Kaori avoids gross mistakes, then she will easily bypass her. It is very interesting how Rinko Watanabe will perform. This Japanese woman has been stubbornly doing the triple axel all season in both the short and free programs, the only exception is the regional start in Tokyo, where she limited herself to the short snipe. In the Grand Prix finals, we also expect maximum risk from her. And even though Rinka doesn't smell of the stability of the trixel, out of 7 attempts, only 2 are clean. It is possible that she will be lucky in Turin. Kim Yi-lim, regardless of the place taken, can already be called the national heroine of Korea. After the victory of the legendary Yoona Kim in the 2009 Grand Prix final, not a single Korean woman has yet been selected there. Truly amazing things happen when foreign women are spared from rivalry with Russian women. Luna Hendricks from Belgium has excellent chances for a podium and even gold. The European beauty has not relaxed after the exhausting Olympic season, but, on the contrary, is gaining momentum and proving that mature women's skating is very cool. But 15-year-old Isabel Levito from the USA will remind you of Russian traditions at the tournament. It is no coincidence that she trains with former Russian figure skaters and jumps a combination of triple Lutz, triple Rittberger, whose victorious properties it's time to make legends. If Isabeau copes with the nerves of the first adult season and the load, so far unofficial, of the first number of the American team, he can take off in Turin and to the highest step of the podium, The 2022 Olympic champion in single skating, Russian figure skater Anna Shcherbakova spoke about the Russian jumping championship. I was competing at that time, so I didn't manage to watch the tournament, but I know the results. I participated in the jumping tournament twice. Both passed for me at the highest level and left wonderful impressions. It seems to me that this is a very cool idea, which allows us to show our maximum capabilities, which is not always possible during competitive rentals due to existing rules. For example, it was possible to show the same combinations of 5 jumps that we collected. It's great that skaters can compete in this, quotes Shcherbakova. The Russian Jumping Championship was held in St. Petersburg from 3 to 4 December. Grigory Fedorov became the champion in men's competitions, and Kamila Valieva became the champion in women's competitions. Honored coach of Russia Ina Goncharenko explained why Kamila Valieva won the Russian Jumping Championship. We will start from our beloved Kamila Valieva, who jumps toe loop. This is a span, this is a height, a position plus a long exit, as Svetlana Vladimirovna Sokolovskaya joked that she would like to see Alexander Samarin like this. Kamila showed us this. And the judges evaluated the long exit very well. It was like this in my childhood. If the exit is less than 1 meter, the jump was not counted at all. I left, but a short one, that's it, there was no such jump. It was the quality of the jump, the staginess that won against Valieva. If we look at Sonia Akiteva, who also performed a very high-quality quad toe loop, then when she got paired with Kamila Valieva, we suddenly saw that her quad toe loop was still not the same as Kamila's. And he loses. Yes, with Kamila they closed their eyes for a blot on the first toe loop. But it's like being in an institute. For the first 3 years you work for the credit card, and then the credit card works for you. I think that this moment played here. Ina Goncharenko also named the favorites of the women's competitions at the Russian Championship. In the C grade, I see Kamila, Lisa. They asked me specifically if Lisa could win. I said yes, she could. But Lisa will have to try a quadruple. Purely psychologically, this is a very important point. But the third place, there are a lot of contenders. Sasha Trusova, she had little time. I know when girls go into puberty, plus from what I heard, she had an injury. This takes time. I'm afraid that he won't have time to roll it purely functionally. I have no doubt that she has enough ambition and sports anger, but there we have Sonia Muravyova, Sonia Samadokina, Sonia Akiteva, and Gorbachev will be there too, a very good girl. And Vilina can skate very well. A free skate can do wonders. Valieva is also in puberty, but Valieva did not change her coach, did not waste time back and forth. The time factor is important, everything must be done on time. Liza this season looks very good in body, in texture. I think that the jumping tournament did not work out a little, because she was tired energetically, emotionally, because she arrived from the start, said Goncharenko.